No Carb Barb. I cannot think of a better name. Like you are so lucky. I think I'm gonna try and like legally change my name to Barb because that's so fun.
I love it. Well, being an avid Dr. Seuss fan from way back when, I just couldn't resist.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, for those who don't know you, you are No Carb Barb, but obviously Barb. Nice to see you again.
Yes, it's nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and we actually had an aha moment. We realized that we were roommates at Meatstock, but we never saw each other in our room.
Well, hey, there was way too much going on and happening out and about that we really didn't spend very much time in the room at all.
No, no, not at all, not at all. And there were what, five of us, and then sometimes it was different people on different days. But I want to show for everybody who you are, and this is your website, encouraging wellness. So can you talk us through this just a little bit? I know it has, I believe your about page has your story.
Yes, so I was inspired to start encouraging wellness a couple of years ago. I went through a health coaching course while I was still in my corporate career, and it was really eye-opening to me. I learned so much, and honestly, I learned as much about myself as I did about anything else because there were practicums and coaching sessions. And when I was actually the client in those sessions, the things that I heard myself say were pretty remarkable. And I realized that although I had a great job that I'd been in a really long time and I loved it, it really didn't line up with what I wanted and needed to do and felt that my calling was. So that really started a journey of self-discovery. And I decided to retire from my corporate career last year. And I knew I wanted to do something in the health space and with health coaching, but I really wasn't sure what. And so I took a few months off just to kind of get my head together. And during that time, I found carnivore, and that inspired me to get certified in keto and carnivore and PMSF nutrition. I'd already been certified in functional nutrition, but I wanted to add that and learn about it. And I'm actually learning more. I'm taking a kilts coaching course now because I just want to know all the things. Really fascinated by it. Of course, I can coach on anything, sleep, movement. I mean, finance. I've actually coached somebody on how to develop a budget. But I mean, my passion really is nutrition and people nourishing their bodies and really having the life that they deserve to have and to realize that, hey, they have control over their health. They're not passive bystanders. You can really do something. And so my heart is especially for women because I think so many times we're just gaslit by the doctors. Hey, you're too old, you're getting older, oh, you're too young, oh, you're anxious, you're depressed, you just got stress. And that's so frustrating because you know your body, and we don't feel well, you know it, and you know that something is not right. And so I think it's so important to listen to what your body is saying and then take action from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think also, I don't know if it's just kind of a tendency of women, we kind of tough it out and go alone. And so I love that you're offering that community to be like, hey, let me come alongside you to be able to like hold your hand through this journey instead of like you doing it all on your own.
Yes. And I mean, I think as women, we are raised to be stoic. We just need to suck it up and do it. And one thing, I mean, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and the myth of superwoman. You can do it all. Women are going to the workplace, which is awesome. But now you're going to have a career and you're going to be the most awesome wife and you're going to prepare six-course meals and your children are perfectly dressed and everything is fine and your finances are great and all of that. And I think it was so easy to buy into that myth. And women are just exhausted because they think, oh gosh, everybody else is doing it, especially now in social media times. You can look at your screen and go, well, gosh, she looks fabulous and she's doing all these things. I mean, you don't know what she's really doing, but I think that that feeds that part of us that we just want to make everybody happy. We want to do
Mm.
everything. We want to be the best, but what ends up happening is that we shortchange ourselves and we're the ones who suffer.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your story because you had your own journey. And so it's not like you're sitting here up on the mountaintop going, yes, this is how the mountaintop is, because I've always lived at the mountaintop. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, definitely not spending most of my life in the mountaintop. So, yeah, growing up, I mean, and looking back on my journey, it probably started when I was really young. I mean, I had a lot of ear infections, antibiotics. We did not, you know, eat well, the standard American diet and the low fat and all of that. And honestly, the only thing I cared about nutrition was how many Twinkies could I eat and still be thin. Really, I mean, it was not about what food did for your body or how you're nourished. It was all about, hey, what did you look like? Could you fit into a certain size? And really, that's where food and I intersected because I love food, love sugar way too much. And it was just always a battle of, oh, let me try this. Let me try Weight Watchers. Let me try the juicing diet or whatever it was just to try to look decent, basically. But it was in my early 30s that I started to struggle.
Mm.
I just, I wasn't feeling great. I got a bad bone density scan at a company health fair that kind of scared me. And then in about 2003, I started breaking out in psoriasis on my scalp. And it was gross. Like my kids used to joke and call it the cooties because it would snow all over my shoulders. And there's just
Mm.
nothing sexy about that in any way. It was awful, but I mean, just did what I could do. Went to the dermatologist. They give you creams and tar shampoo and all of that stuff, and nothing really helped. So I just kind of, well, I mean, what do? You just go on. And then about 3 years later, I started having issues with my foot. It was painful and started to swell. So I had my chiropractor x-ray it, and he said, hey, there's an old stress fracture. I think that's what's causing your pain. Let's put you in a boot. So he put me in the boot, but my foot continued to swell. And so I said, hey, this boot is too heavy. Can you take me out of the boot? So he did, and it just got worse. So they sent me to a podiatrist and ran a bunch of tests, and then eventually sent me to a rheumatologist. And that probably took about 9 months to get from the onset of pain into the rheumatologist. And by the time I got there, I was crawling up the steps in my house. Like both feet were swollen, my knees were swollen, my
How
hands were
old were you
swollen.
at that point?
I was, let me think about
It's
this.
okay, like just around.
Yeah, about 36.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
36 and you can't walk.
yeah. Yeah, so finally I go to the rheumatologist and he examines me and says, I think you are classic psoriatic arthritis. And I'm like, what the heck is that? I've never heard of that in my life. And he said, well, a certain percentage of people with psoriasis develop this. And and I said, well, what do we do? And he said, well, I'm going to put you on some medication. So he gave me an injectable drug called Humira. And I was like, okay. So I took the drug, and wow, within a week, I felt so much better. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So I went back and he looked at me again. I'm like, hey, this drug's great. I'm doing well. And he said, do you know, like, you're still really swollen? And I'm like, oh, I feel a whole lot better. And he said, I don't think that this is enough. Let's add something else. So he added a really nasty drug called methotrexate, which is kind of a chemo-based disease modifying drug that. has a side effect of death potentially. So that was a little scary, but I'm like, okay, I've got to move. I've got kids, I got a family, I need to work. So I said, all right, well, I'll just take it. And so then this is just, you can imagine, going down the road, how many medications that I was actually on, because most of the time the medication will work for a period of time and then it stops working. So I was kind of going through that roller coaster of injections and IV infusions, and then lots and lots of steroids. I was actually on prednisone for over 6 years. So, yeah, and none of that is good. And this whole time, I was just, hey, I just need to function. I wasn't really thinking long term. I was like, hey, you know what? If it takes 5 years off my life, at least I can walk. But as things progressed, I started having um, digestive issues. And I had always had IBS,
Mhm.
all this stuff. Oh, yeah, it's IBS because we have no idea what is it going on. But yeah, it's all messed up. So I always joke that I had irate bowel syndrome. And and so with the digestive issues, I started having problems swallowing. It was like my food would get to like right here and then it wouldn't go down. And so when I mentioned this to my doctors, oh, that's probably just stress. And I'm like, okay, I mean, probably have some stress, but why would that make my food not go down? But okay. But it persisted and it would kind of ebb and flow. And I kept bugging the GI doctor and saying, hey, please, something is going on. So he finally sent me for this test and I had to swallow this stuff and they filmed kind of this graham cracker with marshmallow fluff stuff going down. And the tech said, I see it. And I was like, what? What do you see? And it was kind of spooky because I could see myself a skeleton, a skeleton chewing stuff and going. She said, the muscles in your throat are not working properly. And the flap that's supposed to push the food down is not pushing it down. And I was like, thank you, thank you. And she said, now that's not normal, especially for somebody your age. But I was just so thrilled that I wasn't nuts and that I hadn't made up that I was having problems swallowing that, I very happily left there. And the next time I went to my rheumatologist, I said, hey, I had this test done and this is what they found. And he said, you know what? I probably need to pull some more blood work for you. And so he did. And then I'll never forget, I was at work and I got a call and it was my doctor. It wasn't his nurse. And he said, hey, I need you to stop taking all of your medication right now. And I'm like, okay, why would I want to do that? And he said, your blood work shows you have lupus. And the drugs that treat lupus contraindicate the drugs that treat psoriatic arthritis. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do when I can't walk in a couple of weeks? And he said, well, just come back and see me. So I did, and then we tried some more, another um, round of all kinds of different drugs. And I think he really hoped that the lupus was medication induced, and that maybe if I went off the biologic that I was currently on, that maybe it would reverse, but it didn't. And so that was just really like great. Now I've got something else, but I mean, really looking back, and it's all inflammation. There's what, 150 different autoimmune diseases, and they're all variants of the same thing. They present differently, but it's all inflammation. So about this time, I was working with my chiropractor, and he pulled some functional labs for me and discovered that I had type 2 diabetes. And I was completely shocked. I mean, my eating habits weren't fantastic, but looking back, I realized that being on steroids for 6 years probably kicked that into gear. And so I just went low carb at that point because it didn't make sense to me if sugar was an issue, why I should continue to eat sugar. So I really looked at the sugar content of anything that I was eating. I mean, it didn't go completely like no carb or anything like that, but I was able to reverse my type 2 diabetes doing that. And that was eye-opening for me because I realized that, hey, maybe there's something I can do. Maybe some of the food I'm eating or my lifestyle choices can influence my illness. And, up to that point, I had asked the doctors, is there anything that I need to change about how I'm eating or what I'm doing? And no, 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 this is just genetic. We don't know what causes it. You're just unlucky, blah, blah, blah. So I started researching and really listening to podcasts and reading as much as I could to try to figure things out. So then I went through, I did the paleo and Whole 30. I did keto. I tried being vegan. That was really bad. And so all of those things just to try to see if I could change what was going on. And some of them helped to some extent. I went gluten-free in 2019 and that did help. And keto helped, but I really wasn't as low carb on keto as I thought I was. I fell under the spell of the net carb thing. And yeah, I no, net carbs are
A joke.
baloney. Yeah, they are a joke. It doesn't work that way. And so, fast forward to 2024, I was driving to a chiropractor appointment and listening to a podcast, and Amanda Decker, nurse practitioner out of Dixon, Tennessee, was on a podcast. I think it was Fabulously Keto. And she was talking about how she had reversed her psoriasis with a carnivore diet. And I'm like, sign me up. Okay. So I actually left chiropractor, went to Costco, bought some beef sticks and some eggs, and decided I'm carnivore. And then I just delved into all of the carnivore YouTube videos, podcasts, and everything. And that was 14 months ago. And here we are.
Wow, wow. So, as far as your arthritis and your lupus, have you noticed other, I mean, awesome about the psoriasis, but have you noticed other improvements with your health?
Yes. So immediately I could tell a difference. I probably dropped 7 or 8 pounds of inflammation within the first couple of weeks. And I am happy to say that I am off prescription meds for the first time in 20 years.
My gosh.
Yeah, yeah. And the last time that I tried to go off meds, it was pretty disastrous. So things aren't perfect now. I still have a little bit of joint swellings, but things are like a million times better than they ever were. And so I am just incredibly thankful and grateful for the carnivore diet because it has completely changed my life.
Well, and I saw you in the cabin, not in the bedroom, but in the cabin, and you were zooming around everywhere. I wouldn't have thought in a million years that you, at 36 couldn't like walk up the stairs, that you were crawling. And so it's obvious that, you're more mobile and you're functioning.
Yes, it's fantastic. And I think until or unless you've been in that situation, I mean, you just can't imagine what that's like. And at one point, I had a doctor tell me that they thought I would be in a wheelchair. And, that's so scary. And, people don't need to be told, hey, this is your disease and how it's going to limit you for the rest of your life. They need to be told, hey, there are things you can do and there's hope.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I just wanted to also point out you have a YouTube channel that you just started. I'm so excited about this. No Carb Barb. By the way, I love that name. Absolutely love it. Because you did try low carb and it just didn't hit the mark for you. You had to go to the no carb.
Yes.
Uh, Go ahead. Is there anything you wanted to talk about with your YouTube
Oh
channel?
yeah, so no Carb Barb. I have one video up. I promise there's more to come. Um, I really have been thinking about what I want to do with the channel. So I have some ideas and I really want to do something fun just because I want something lighthearted in the space and people to be, excited about things and not to take things too seriously because I think it's really easy to get super focused on, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? What should I do? What are my macros? How am I going to do this? And all of that. And so I kind of want to give a more lighthearted take on things and kind of step back. So I will have some more things up there, hopefully this summer. But yeah, launching a business at the same time has been kind of interesting. So it's all good. But yeah, there definitely will be more to come.
Absolutely. But you have made some powerful connections in this short amount of time. Amazing interview with Jenny Minich. And also, you got to meet Ken Berry. This is what this is the Meatstock was the second time you got to meet Ken, or that was the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah, it was the second time. So I actually met Dr. Barry at the Yuma, Tennessee meetup in April, and it was my birthday. I was like, oh my gosh, what an awesome birthday present. So I got to meet him there. And then also I saw him again at Meatstock. And then Jenny was my bunk mate at Meatstock, and she is just amazing. She's fabulous. I love Jenny. And yeah, we totally hit it off.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So people can find you at No Carb Barb 1. And then obviously this we met at Meatstock. So we're gonna be at Meatstock again. We're going to 2026. What was that experience like for you with being around all of these people? What was Meatstock like for you?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I have the words to describe how awesome it was. I mean, it was kind of like being at a meetup for 4 days. Just the energy and just all of the people there. I mean, I don't know. I met so many wonderful people, and everyone there is so genuine. I mean, it's just the coolest thing. And I'm just going to say, Scott Everson has done a fantastic job of bringing people together. Like, without his vision, none of this would happen. And he has just worked tirelessly for this community. And it is really paying off. It's so exciting to see how many people are interested in wanting to go. And next year is going to be even better than this past year. I don't see how that could be possible. But I mean, yeah, I can't plug meat stock enough, and everybody should try to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And had you ever been to the mountains in Tennessee like that?
Yes, because I actually live in Knoxville. So
Oh,
I'm,
awesome.
yeah, I am about a little under an hour away
That's
from
awesome.
Gatlinburg. So yes, but it's kind of like any place else. I mean, when you live close to something, I don't go up there a ton, but yes. So yeah, super
Because
excited that it's close.
yeah, because that was I think that's a whole nother element of meat stock is the location, is going to the mountains and just breathing in the air of the trees. And of course, our cabin was literally like on a mountaintop. Like it was absolutely amazing to get that view.
Yeah, and I think it's something being in nature and away from everything else and being with that group of people was very magical.
Awesome, awesome. So I have one more question for you. You obviously, had success in a corporate job and you were able to retire from that. And what is the reason? Like, what is driving you? Why would and you got your own health, why are you wanting to help others?
I mean, I just have been given so much, and I just want to share that. I want people to have that hope, and I don't want anybody to just accept a diagnosis of anything. I mean, like Dr. Kilt says, I mean, every day we should say, I am healthy and well. And that needs to be the place where we come from. And I want everybody to have that. I want people to realize that they can take charge of their health. That, am I saying everything is going to be cured immediately with everything? No, but there's hope, and your mindset and your belief system, all of those things really matter. And those things you can change.
Yeah.
You may not be able to, oh gosh, instantly I'm going to, eliminate my autoimmune disease, but you can change your mind. And and that's hard too. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, it's so easy, oh now I'm skipping through the daisies, but I really think that that's important. And so I want people to find that hope and health that I've been able to find.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you are a gift to the carnivore, keto, low carb, no carb community. I'm just so grateful that we get to continue this story for years and years and years to come. And I can't wait to see you at Meatstock 2026.
I will see you there.
All right, bye.
Bye.